how I mark it.
Is that thing now?
What the fuck? I'm so sorry. This is all staying in, by the way.
Oh, is it?
No, it's definitely getting cut. Check. Welcome back to the Side Conversations podcast. It's been a while, but we're here now with my good friend David. David, how are you?
Doing good, man. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers to the first one back.
21 crimes, right? Is that what we're drinking?
19 crimes.
Oh, 19 crimes.
Not a sponsor of the show, but
Not
a sponsor
Okay.
yet.
yet.
But yet.
Okay.
So,
Always a possibility.
always,
You know,
please drink responsibly.
as long as they talk real numbers, right?
Of course. So, it's been a long time since I've been, back in this. So, bit new. Obviously, we're in a new place. If you watched the last video or heard the last podcast, that was, I want to say it was over a year ago that I kind of hosted that. It was the What the Fuck Is Up Denny's guy.
That was the last one?
Yeah, that was the last one. And it's unfortunate, I really felt a lot of traction with that one, but, things transpired. But nonetheless, we're back. And to, not focus on those things, man, just tell me, how are you?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, happy Halloween. By the time you guys are hearing this,
that's right.
it should be Halloween, so.
I'm gonna be the camp counselor.
Yes.
Is the only option that I had
Right.
when I went to Party City. People were in there scrambling. I'm gonna get a great costume.
Yeah.
Nothing left.
So the problem was we told it. So we're having a Halloween party at my house, and we had sent out all the invitations, and the one thing, and we sent these out
Man, for a while. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute, right?
At least, yeah.
Yeah. So I call him and I'm like, hey man, we're running this show. 1. He was like, all right, cool. Let's set it at 1. Let's do it. And then he calls me today and he's like, hey man, I'm not gonna be able to make it on time. I need to go to Party City and get a costume. But I mean, dude, I think this will be the first time I've actually dressed up in a costume in a few years. Actually, I don't even think I did it in the military. I even might have been even before that. So like 7 years, man.
Yeah,
I haven't actually done this, and it's actually pretty exciting again. You kind of feel like a kid again to actually dress up, have some fun. So we're gonna have a costume contest. We're gonna have a bunch of prizes. I think it's gonna be fun, but that Halloween feeling, man, I'm finally getting it, like feeling it again. You remember that when you were real young?
Look at these, what we're wearing.
Yeah.
We get to wear this clothes again. The
it
weather.
feels great, yeah. Everyone's in like the happy, everyone's happy. The kids are excited.
Dude, I was running this morning, kind of, and I was running by this park that it was crazy because I was remembering of like a time that whenever we were kids, we would go out and do like hood rat shit, basically.
Yeah, right.
And
no, yeah.
That was like the fucking corner that we were like fucking throwing eggs at fucking cars and shit.
Oh man, y'all were the egg throwers?
Yeah. Like,
dude.
It was bad.
I remember, man, I think a lot of things go down on Halloween. You know what I mean? People, you see a different side of people, because it's encouraged, right? It's encouraged. It's encouraged to be bad or mischievous or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I remember, so Halloween for me is pretty special because a lot of things have just like happened. I've spent I was always with my friends on Halloween. You know what I mean? Like that was our time to get together, get away from our parents, run around like the really nice neighborhoods, where we didn't stay at, and it was
Yeah.
other people's, stuff that we could hit those houses, get really good candy, actual like, not just like pennies or, the really small like Snickers bars, like the little bite-sized ones. So we hit those houses, we run around, and then people are like, doing like burnouts in the street, throwing eggs at people's car, and you're running around. I had my first kiss was on actual like Halloween night. So funny story about that, right? So everything was like, it was just really awkward. It happened on Halloween, but like the next morning, right? I was dressed as like, I think I was like a really cheap version of like Freddy Krueger. Like I had like a Vans like sweatshirt. Well, it was like a crew neck. It's like
Okay.
really fuzzy, itchy red with like black on it and like black stripes and whatnot. And then yeah, basically
The Freddy Krueger mask.
yeah, I had that too. And basically the next
I
morning
just
we like
couldn't.
met up.
I didn't know if you painted your face
No,
like
no, no. I
Freddy
so
Krueger.
yeah, no, I had.
Are
a
you
really,
that?
I
Are
had
you
a
that
bad-
guy that does the costume that like I'm gonna go extra. I'm gonna go real.
Oh yeah, no.
Authentic.
Yeah, so I actually have pictures. I'll throw it in here in the video if I can.
Freddy Krueger picture.
No, 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 not the Freddy Krueger picture, but of me with like face paint as a kid. So like my dad, always went all out for us on Halloween. I was a ninja at least 7 to 8 times, and I was always a different, costume. So he was always down for it. He did the face paint and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Were you like a face painter? Did you ever get into that?
Well, to be honest, man, for me, my background's a bit different. So for my childhood, my mother was my birth mother, my birth parents. My mother was very religious, so she was super
Right.
against
Yes.
Halloween. She
most
thinks
definitely.
she will, because for the Mexican culture, it's Dia de la Muertos. I think I said that right. But I mean, my mom was very religious, so she thinks of it
course.
as like a very bad thing.
Yeah, it's the time where the devil comes out to play. And
Right,
whatnot.
kinda.
Yeah, I had a stepfather who believed the same thing. When we lived in this really small town in Michigan, and Halloween just wasn't a thing, so we just kind of let that slide.
Yeah. But I mean, Halloween. I think whenever I got adopted, actually was whenever we experienced a little bit more of like American culture. Because
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
it
No, I
wasn't.
hear you.
I mean, I guess when I say American culture, I don't know if that's even the right term. I mean, my mother was white, so
Do they trick or treat in other countries? Do they do that?
I don't know
Is
if they
Halloween
do.
a thing?
I feel like it's an American thing, right?
I don't know. I've never spent Halloween in another country.
No, I don't believe, but I feel like it's getting adapted in like other places because America is kind of the country that kind of like leads in like
Oh yeah, we
popularity
have a lot of influence.
yeah, influence.
But it's
there you
never
go.
for like the right things.
Yeah.
It's always for like the absurd stuff.
Yeah, but
So, yeah.
I mean, eventually, I guess I never really went and did the authentic like go to the door, trick or treat. Maybe like one time I feel like I did.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It was
you
still-
never went to like knock on doors and do stuff like that?
I feel like I did it maybe twice. Maybe.
That's crazy. Yeah, man. I mean, it's an experience. I mean, we'll be giving out candy. I'm pretty sure we'll be giving out candy.
Oh, the
I
kids.
mean, we can go hit some houses if you want, dude. We'll have costumes. We might
Dude,
as well
I
just
wanna
roll
fucking
into
eat
it.
some candy, bro. Fuck yeah.
Dude, I'll never turn away. I never understood that people turning away like older folks who are just like trick or treating. I'm like, dude, like who cares? No one says it was like it was made just for kids. Like, dude, if I show out, on a
Bro, you gonna
costume-
go trick or treat? You don't get the door slammed in your face.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, why? Like, why? Because I'm
You're a grown ass man.
25?
You're gonna be
Yeah.
like, sir, you're a grown ass man.
yeah. Well, I'll be like, but I'm in a costume, bro. So it counts. So give me the can. That's what it's all about. Nobody.
Only if you're in your costume that you wore when you were a kid. And it's
Yeah,
like
no, but
busting
it's
out of
all
you.
busting out the seams, bro.
That would then they may be like, okay, there's something wrong with this guy. Let's go ahead and give him the candy.
My goodness, dude. My goodness. Yeah. So, I mean, things always get rowdy on Halloween. You ever gotten into a jam on Halloween? Like, you got anything that sticks out of your memory?
let's see. I want to say Halloween was the day I first actually went to my first unit from, yeah, I believe it was. It was October 31st was the day I showed up to Beaufort, South Carolina
Yikes.
from the schoolhouse, which was in Fort Lee, Virginia.
Oh yeah, give him some of your background, I guess. I feel like we didn't even really like introduce you. I was kind of just like, this is David. You guys, so
Hey, you guys,
get over it. Like, you know, I mean, I could talk about you, but I mean, give these guys, you know, your record, I guess, man.
well, I guess we can begin with my journey to the Marine Corps.
Right.
The Marine Corps is an interesting. It was an interesting. I got there in a very weird and interesting way because it actually came from a negative. I was arrested for possession of marijuana.
Right. And you were young. This was
I was I was 18, I think, or 19. Right. I can't remember. But I got arrested in Irving, went to Irving, got bailed out by my sister. Then I was supposed to go to probation, didn't do that, skipped out on it. Got a warrant out for my arrest.
Dang, you jumped on it, huh?
Yeah, just didn't want to show up. I was like,
you were just living kind of recklessly.
I was driving a fucking Cadillac 1987 Fleetwood the Elegant.
Oh yeah,
Gold
you thought you were it, huh? You were feeling it though.
I was working at what was I working at? Who knows at that point? But either way, got jammed up with one of my homies actually that I'm still friends with. We got pulled over. I was kind of living out of my car at this point. Didn't have anything legal on my car. Like I didn't have my insurance, all kinds of shit. Like doing stupid shit like that. Like just driving. Stuff
that you were supposed to have.
Reckless.
It just wasn't there.
Super reckless. So all deserving. And so anyways, long story short, I go to the big house because I want to sit my time out because I've been on a warrant for however long, I can't remember, at least over a year.
Right. Oh, wow. So
it's been a minute.
Yeah, but they're not, I don't think they're, I mean, with warrants, they're not actively searching for you, right? They're just like.
Maybe.
I mean, for something small, I would assume like that.
They might. Who knows? But what I ended up doing was I just went to Lusteric, the Dallas County, because they would pay you the most per day. So I went to the big one, and they fucking sat me in that bitch. I was in a pod with like a bunch of other fucking dudes who'd done a bunch of fucking like
crazy stuff,
like real crimes.
Yeah, like real crime, and that's always what I've been the most intimidated about, I would say. I can't imagine what a guy who committed fraud, you know, like credit card fraud, like $3,000 worth of credit card fraud. I can't imagine what he feels when he sits in that cell with a guy who probably just like, who knows, did real armed robbery, did real murder, and they're like, "Hey man, what are you in here for?" Oh, and he's like, I stole some credit card information and bought a bunch of coffee makers on Amazon, and they traced it back to me. What about you? It's like, oh, I killed a family. And they're like, oh. It's almost like you don't have... It's almost like, what are you doing in here? I couldn't imagine.
When's your court date? That's what I would ask. Yeah. I don't know, man.
So, like, I mean, yeah, you must have felt... It must have felt strange to be in there. I mean, amongst... I guess hardened criminals?
I mean, not all of them were hardened. I mean, because I did, obviously... It wasn't like... The fear factor of it was the unknown, honestly.
Of course, yeah.
And then you go through it. I mean, fuck, the humiliation of bending over to a man, fucking getting your fucking...
Nope, yep. Yeah, man, I've already... I mean, we've both done it once at MEPS. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then with that, I know there's got to be a strip search.
Oh, yeah.
And they got to find out. And then don't they, like... I mean, excuse me, we don't have to talk about this entire experience if you don't want, but I mean,
go ahead.
So just... Don't you they strip you down, they search you, and then they make you what? Like disinfect yourself? Remember when we were at boot camp and they gave us like that red soap and they were like...
You talking about like when they throw powder on you?
Wait, they throw powder on you?
Comet. Comment.
What? Isn't that what they
No,
did to
no.
that one guy in like
No,
Avengers? How they
I'm
like
kidding.
threw the
I'm
dirt on
kidding.
him?
They don't do that. No. I think I don't even remember if that. I don't think there was any kind of like scrub down or anything like that.
Okay, so no like power wash that you see in like the movies. Where
Hey,
just...
hey, clean them off. Next. No, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a crazy experience. I mean, I had some crazy conversations. Like,
So did you have like outside? You had time to like mingle with
oh
other
yeah,
people,
man. I
or
mean,
like
what
did you have a cellmate?
No,
Or...
there was no cell. It was general.
Oh, so it was
general
population.
population.
Oh, so you were just like bunked up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah.
And what was that like?
It was a bit frightening, not gonna lie, because you how you gonna sleep with knowing who wants to just come up and just.
I mean, did you talk to people or what?
I mean, I was able to sleep. I feel like, but I
couldn't
that was
imagine.
always like a lingering thought, I guess. You know, like,
Yeah.
is anyone?
I
Gonna
mean,
just,
when you came in, were you so okay? So you're very sociable. You know what I mean? Like you can come out, talk to people, be like, "Hey, what's up?" You can start a conversation.
yeah, for sure.
So I mean, when you were in there, was that still a part of your personality, or were you just
yeah.
like, I'm gonna just hold back on this one right here?
I felt like I held back more because I knew I needed to just be observant more and like respect the area I was in and not cross any boundaries and really just make sure I wasn't like disrespecting anybody.
Right. Yeah.
Right,
Because
staying in my lane, trying to stay like
you're not like hitting that. Hey, what are you in for?
right.
And then when they tell you, you're like, whoa, dude, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Like really going in depth into their life and whatnot. I couldn't imagine, man. Well, so then what? So you get up out of that jam.
Yeah, so I get out of there and I determined whether
and it was quick, correct? It wasn't.
Yeah, well, I was in there for 9 days.
Yeah.
That was
And that 9 days, tell me, going in, right? The person you were going in and the person you were walking out. Do you think there was a notable difference in who you were at that time, or do you think it still hadn't happened yet?
No, it gave me the confidence to go in the recruiter's office and say I want to go to the Marines.
So from exiting,
if you'll take me, that's what I said.
Right. So from them giving you that envelope with all your crap in it, and them doing the freaking, hitting the big button and the gate opens up and there's the car waiting up for you in the front, right? How far, like how soon from then to the recruiting office?
Man, honestly, I don't even think it was. It may have been maybe a day.
Whew. So it was already in your mind.
Oh yeah, it was like.
I
wanted to find out.
So in that, when you were sitting there in those 9 days, you were like, okay, I got to do something once I get out of here, and that's a straight shot.
Yeah.
So you just hit it and you just said, "Here I am." Like,
that's it.
Can
man.
you work with this or what?
Yeah, I went in there. It was probably the easiest recruit that he ever had. I mean, he didn't even have to really say anything. They just had to make sure I could breathe, and I wasn't. I mean, it was in 2013, but it wasn't like really the height of it. I was 21 at the time too.
So yeah. I mean, 21.
I think
that's a bit more mature than 18.
Actually, you know what? I feel like I was No. My timelines are messed up because I was in a debt program for a really long time because I couldn't stop smoking weed, and because my file was so thick. This recruiter really had to work hard to get me in. Honestly,
yeah. Right.
But he was kind of like when I did my initial. What is it? IST? Was it?
Yeah, your initial strength test.
Yeah. They were like, "Oh man, this guy can run."
Mm-hmm.
So he was.
See that? You hear that right there, straight from the horse's mouth. They only care if you run fast.
That's kind of true, honestly, because they were like, "Oh, I mean," because they know it'll progress. You could just progress by just being able to do that too. Honestly,
of just what, being fast or what?
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's all. A lot of the Marine Corps is about like your. I mean, I wouldn't say all of it, but I think it goes hand in hand though. I feel like if you're disciplined enough to like want to be good physically,
mm-hmm.
like it will strengthen other areas.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, I feel like if you're committed to improving, I mean, that's I mean, doing anything physical to strengthen your body is beneficial. You're doing it in a positive manner for a positive reason of some sort. You know, you're not just like not doing physical labor expecting to. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
even know if I'm explaining that correctly.
No,
It's
no, no.
just
I understand. I get
yeah.
what you're
So
saying.
I
But
mean, like it disciplines you, man. It gives you discipline. You can learn how to lift yourself up, but you can also, I mean, it has negative effects too. You can also learn how to bring yourself down.
yeah, that's
You know,
true.
and that's where you got to find that healthy balance. I mean, I've torn myself up with trying to work out and whatnot, but
Yeah, that's
anyways,
true.
but that's besides the point. We're talking about you here. So you get into the military. What are they? So what? Your recruiter's just like, for sure, man. Like we can do it, or
Well,
is
yeah,
he?
no, he has to. I mean, I even remember his name, Sergeant Reynolds. He had to go through a lot of things to get me in. A couple of times, I had to tell him straight, bold face, like, "Hey, I can't piss in that cup, man."
Yeah, being honest, dude. And hey, bro, I feel you because I mean, dude, we were young, man. You said
Yeah,
you were 21 at the time. I was 18 going into the dep. You just in the same situations, just like acting a fool, like still not ready, you know, signed, but like still acting like a jackwagon, not doing what I was supposed to do.
yeah,
Um, but I feel like a lot of that kind of got shaken out of me, forced out of me, and pulled out of me when I got out of into boot camp and whatnot. So I mean, so you get there. So being, you were talking about your attitude and how you were just trying to like live and your lifestyle. So getting into such a structured program like that, what do you think that did to you?
I mean, I honestly went in with like zero idea of what the hell I was actually doing. Like,
Did you ever give the military any thought prior to
it,
any of
it was a
this?
vague thought. It was more of like, hey, man, if things don't pan out, like, there's always the military. But
Yeah.
I
Were
guess I
you
didn't really even.
you weren't like watching the moto videos on
Nah,
YouTube and
yeah. See,
whatnot, like
no, not at all.
yeah, you were just like you just thought of the military of just like it's just a thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
just like yeah.
kind of honestly. And then I was like, all right, I guess. I mean, the way I looked at it was like, I guess I'm gonna get
Yeah.
3 hots and a cot
That's
at
hey,
least.
straight up. That's one thing they won't. That's one promise they will always give, or at least not maybe not 3 hots in a cot, but maybe 3 hots in a spot. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll be like, you can sleep right here. That's probably the
Yeah.
best spot to sleep, but you ain't gonna be able to get no bed. But yeah, man. I mean, walking out of there. I mean, I remember the feeling. And I can't say my life was together when I walked into that place. But coming out, you went in California, right? Correct or
No,
no?
I was
Wait, where were
recruited
you when you got recruited?
out of Texas, and I
They
got
sent you
recruited out of
where?
the Plano recruiting station.
And they sent you where?
My first, where? What do you mean?
For
I went.
boot
Oh
camp.
yeah, I went West Coast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for boot camp. Yeah, so you were in California.
yeah,
Yeah,
California.
so you remember leaving that parade deck, man, when they finally just say like, "All right, you can get out of here," and they put you on a bus or whatever, and or like you're leaving with your family for that weekend or week of vacation or whatever. Dude, they gave us a month. We
Wow.
finished
Oh, okay.
December 18th or something, and there was gonna be that big 2 week leave block,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was another leave block of some sort of mix up, and they were just like from December to about February something like February 2nd, I think. I was at home. I was just hanging out, just chilling. Hadn't and I was a Marine, but I just hadn't been a Marine for like a month and a half. So I got back to MCT, got wrecked. Um, that was insane. But so what you push through boot camp, you get to MCT, you do your duties. Did you know what you were going in as, or were you just
To be honest, I still really didn't have a freaking clue.
right?
It was
Did they even tell you like specifics, or were they just like,
well,
"Hey man, you're ordnance.
it
Shout
was it
out."
was interesting
Both
because
of us are ordnance, by the way. Shout out if you're in
yeah,
ordnance.
ordinance community, let's
Yeah,
go.
you know what I'm saying. Okay.
But yeah, no, man, he was trying to use sales tactics like for some reason I don't understand. Like he actually made a call and was like, "Hey man, I got this guy here, man. He's gonna be coming to your shop." Because I actually wanted to go in as a welder.
Hmm.
That was like
Yeah,
what
I didn't even know that was a thing till I got to the schoolhouse.
I wanted to be a welder because I saw it as an opportunity to get a good trade and
Of
because
course.
Because I also saw the military, to be honest, as a way to get some time and then get out, maybe.
See, and that's the 21-year-old mindset you had going into it, because I was still 17 turning 18, and then I was in the DEP program for so long. I wasn't thinking like that. I didn't even know welding existed. I didn't even know. All he told me was like, yeah, you're going to be an ordnance. And what that is you guys just work on guns. He was like, you're going to be a... yeah, he's like, you're basically going to be like an armorer. You're going to be able to work on any gun. And I was like, oh, cool. That sounds cool. And then when I got my orders and it was like towed artillery systems technician, I was like, the hell does this mean? I was like, I thought I was going to be like, literally what I thought, because I knew nothing. I was like, oh, I'm just going to be like towing around guns. I was like, I'm just going to be a truck driver. Like,
I got this tow right here.
Yeah. And that's what they told me. So did you knew before MCT or after?
Actually, yeah, no, I knew at boot camp they told you.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I was gonna be an armor.
Nice.
I was like, what is that? And they're like,
I said, well, you about to find out.
yeah, you gonna be he's like, man, you're gonna sit in a box.
Yep.
And watch weapons.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they said. But to be honest, man, it was a lot more than that. It was a good experience, man. Looking back at it, so crazy how like you can really the mind is so powerful, man. Like how do we remember all of this stuff, you know? Like we can look back in those memories.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz I can remember so much about my Beaufort experience. That was my first duty station.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
what were you doing down there? Who were you with?
I was with the MWSS 273.
Oh, okay. Oh, wing?
Yeah, the wing.
Woo, boy.
Dude.
Put the skates on,
honestly, it was like, I was like, that was a rough time because I don't know.
Rough as in, like what was going on? As
man,
in, like,
I felt like in the military.
So you're 22 at this point, right?
Yeah.
22, 23?
Yeah.
First duty station? After all that training?
Yeah. It was about, 22.
22, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm really the only one kind of still getting fucked up, I guess, because
as in like like by authority, or like you're hitting the liquor stores after work?
I'm hitting the liquor
stores.
Oh,
okay. So you're still like, you're still trying to like party.
Oh, dude.
Were you trying to party or were you trying to suppress? Like what?
No, dude. I was trying to get fucking hammered. I mean, I was just hanging with the boys, man, honestly.
Right, yeah. You were just enjoying it. You were like, I got the 3 hots in the cut. I got the check. I'm freaking good to go. I got the haircut. We're good to go.
Yeah, we were living young, fast, and stupid.
That's right. Yeah, no, I feel it. I did the same thing. I mean, I wasn't much into drinking, but I was down to just hang with the boys. Like, if they were down for it, then, like, for sure.
Oh, man, yeah. It was overboard at times. I mean, all the time, honestly. It's crazy, right. But it's something that is kind of ingrained in the Marine Corps in a way. It's always there. I mean, dude, I remember the PXs were they're loaded. That's the first fucking thing you see when you walk in.
That was, it's strange because what's weird is you get so used to seeing liquor in a gas station. You know what I mean? Like hard liquor.
Yeah, a lot
like
of
expensive stuff too. It's not just like
so easily convenient.
Yeah, and then it's just there. And it, once you come home and you're like, oh, I got to go make like a late night liquor store run, like real quick. But you got to hit the gas. So you hit the gas station, you're like, yo, where's the Fireball? Where's the vodka? They're like, dude, we're at a gas station. What are you talking about? But I think it's after 12, they make it available. So you can just go there whenever and buy. Dude, they always have the 30 racks. I never saw a regular 6-pack in there. It was always 12 racks or more. And they're just like, y'all are going to drink, like, a lot.
Well, they always had a rule, though, too, that you couldn't have more than, I think, like a 6-pack or some shit like that.
Yeah, normal barracks rules. Well, we had no 6-packs. Yeah, if it's beer, you can have, or we had like E4 and below.
I think they abolished all of that, though.
Oh, man, I don't know. We had our battalion was kind of falling apart near the end of everything, no offense, and you know, obviously my views don't directly reflect those of the Marine Corps, or the public. You know, I'm simply just stating my own opinion. Um, but man,
Oh,
yeah, my
that's got to be clarified,
that's
right?
got to be clarified. So just speaking from that, so I don't get sued or anything.
Shit, I hope
You
not.
know, yeah, no. This is just strictly my opinion only. But you know, I'm not gonna mention the battalion that I was in, but it was just kind of going. It was falling apart. You know, a lot of people were dying. A lot of people were
Jeez.
committing suicide. A lot of people felt like it was getting
Where
just
was
kind
this?
of
Where
brushed
was it?
off. This was in North Carolina, Camp
Oh,
Lejeune.
yeah.
So, and a lot of people, it just got brushed off, you know, kind of like, you know, this is what happened. They shouldn't have done it. Or, you know, make sure you talk to your friends. Or I remember somebody passed away, and then the person, you know, who called the meeting, you know, our commander or whatever. I'm not going to give out any ranks or names or none of that. But
Oh, you're not supposed to?
no, I'm not going to. That's the thing. I don't want to put them in their name, but it was almost like brushed off, like, because you know, the details of it were something like it was an unknown substance
Who
that
are we
was
talking
taken.
about? Like someone that died in your
Yeah, someone
battalion?
that passed away. Someone that passed away
Wait,
during a
but
leave
like by
block.
what kind of, in what way?
Right. They said so. It was just like an unknown substance stopped
They
there.
found him.
Yeah, and it stopped their breathing or whatever, and you
Mm.
know, it was just almost brushed off as like they just shouldn't have done that. You know, if they wouldn't have done that, then this wouldn't have happened. I'm like, really? I was like, is this really how we're gonna treat, like, you know,
Mental health, probably. Who
either
knows?
mental health, addiction, anything, man? Or what if it was an accident? You don't know all the details. We're talking about this within 2 days of something. You know, you don't know what it could have been, what could have caused it, and you're just brushing it off as like, hey, man, that's on them. And that kind of, you know, that kind of turned into a whole kind of disdain for all of it. I was like, if this is just how we're just gonna cultivate it from now on, I'm better off for my own sanity, kind of like stepping out. But
That's
I mean,
unfortunate.
but it was only, and see, I was only in for a few years. I was only in for 4.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of the other people that I talked with, you know, and I mean, I always hung out with the salt dogs. You know, like I tried to like hang out with them. You know, a lot of the times they'd be like, "Get this freaking boot out of here!" Like, because I'm like, "Hey guys," like. But no, just for their wisdom on how they've kind of stayed in for so long. But you did, you know, you re-upped. You went 8, correct?
Yeah, I did.
So I mean, what drove that initial decision? I mean, so you've already, you know, are at this point in time before you re-up, are you still living fast? Like, what made you at the time? Like, I've seen people re-up because they ain't got nothing else to do, or they just because they genuinely enjoyed it. You know, what was it for you?
Well, it was like there was like a period of time where it was like I was getting fucked up like at the barracks,
Mm-hmm.
but I was still like
Like causing a ruckus, or just doing it like with your friends in the room, like.
not in the room. But dude, we were by the water, man. It was
Mm-hmm.
fucking amazing. It was like Hilton Head Beach all like every weekend.
Yeah,
You
nice.
know, we're just
Super nice,
well,
actually.
we're
Yeah.
in shape. I'm in shape at least. I'm in
Of
like
course,
probably
yeah,
the
dude.
best
You're
shape of
like
my
young, you're
life.
shredded, and you're like all moto and whatnot, and you're just
Yeah,
like, yeah.
playing beach volleyball with the ladies. My fiance. Hopefully she's
Hopefully she's
understand.
not
She
watching
understands.
this.
This
Yeah.
was a time when we were.
Yeah, dude. I think we all.
But
Yeah, it's
either way,
fine,
no,
man.
it was a good time. And then I mean, unfortunately, I was a very young, dumb person, and I was doing things that I was leading somebody on solely because I felt like I was in a relationship. The woman
Yeah, man.
I was in a
Yeah.
long distance relationship with a woman. I will not disclose that name, and I won't. But either
But
way,
we'll put that in the description. Like and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, yeah. If this video gets 100 likes, we'll drop her name and address.
no,
So hit
dude.
that like
No,
button.
dude, not
Hit that
no,
like button.
not
All
address.
right.
No
Yeah.
address.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
But anyways, so I ended up getting married to this person
Fantastic.
after they graduate from college because
They gotta
for
have
one-
that degree if they gonna be married to me. I'm just playing.
That's facts.
I don't even have. I spent like a semester in college.
I think I about got that. I think I got about like maybe that 6.
Yeah,
60
someone's got to be
credit.
the breadwinner.
Yeah, exactly.
So what? So you're you're living fast, you're burning out time, and what? Career planner comes up to you and says, "Hey, it's time to reenlist," or were you like, did you consider it? You
Well,
knew it was coming up, or what?
well, because I got married, I felt more of the pressure, like, cause I wanted to get out. I was like ready to get out, but then I was like, man, I really didn't have like when I spoke to my then wife, she was like, yo, let's travel, blah blah, whatever.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, well, I have an option because I'm gonna reenlist, and I can probably get an overseas assignment, and so that's what I ended up doing. I got stationed overseas to Japan, and I mean, this is funny now. It's funny now.
Everyone who was stationed in Japan just laughed with you because they were like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't last long. Honestly, she was gone before maybe 3 months in. See you
Gone
later.
as in like y'all had the talk and it was
Like shit. She was out. She didn't want. We didn't even move into our like house that we were gonna have on base, which I moved.
Oh, so you had a house in Japan?
Yeah, I had a house.
Fantastic, dude.
Dude,
yeah.
and that's another reason I knew. Man, it's fuck. Yeah, never mind. Doesn't matter. Either way.
I mean, you can say it and I can cut it out.
So I had a house in Japan, and I basically had moved all this stuff in there, and she was already gone at this point. Whatever, those things kind of fizzled out. I had ended up living in the place. I got everything set up, man. I had a whole pad to myself.
Right.
And
so
I'm
you're
like,
really living that bachelor life, and in Japan, young. Is this your first home? Like by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh.
But everyone that's on the base is married or has kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like the only single dude. I'm hitting up American Village every weekend. I mean, even during the week.
American Village, there's like an American Village up there? Like what is it, just like a bunch of McDonald's and fat people or what?
Oh, dude, no. It's like, it's an area that it's basically, they try to resemble like American culture in a way.
Right.
So they have burgers and fries.
Right.
And,
Are there
stores.
like people,
they have like a lot of stores there too. There's like bars there.
Are there like people there with like really short bob haircuts screaming for like a manager too? Do they just like send one in every now and then to like really make the Americans feel at home?
The Karens,
yeah,
of the world?
yeah.
No.
Like they kind of just send one in there every now and then, spice things up.
Thankfully, there's no Karens. Honestly, the Okinawan people are the nicest people.
Right, I feel like they're more
easygoing.
Yeah, I feel. I mean, I've been to a few. Yeah, I've been to a few countries, and there are some countries where a lot of people are in a rush. I mean, I can definitely say and agree with a lot of people when they say Americans are moving fast.
Yeah, China.
Yeah, they're moving fast to nowhere though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we're in a rush to go nowhere.
What are you in such a hurry for? Where you going?
And there are places I've been to like Spain.
Dude,
and it's beautiful, man. People take their time. Everybody takes their time. Like nobody's, at least from my experience. Now that could be different for whoever lives there. Someone in Spain's like who
did
just
you,
got into
Did
a
you ever
traffic
travel
jam.
like while you?
No,
were...
man. Well, I never got to travel like freely. You know what I'm saying? Because I was never in one place for too long. Like we would hit a spot and it'd be like we're here for like a few days. Like we did the Liberty spots for like only a few days.
Oh, okay.
So like we'd go do like big ops that take like 2 weeks or a few weeks. And then we'd come back and they'd be like, hey, we're going to be in like this spot for like 3 days. And then we're going to be in this spot for 2. And then we're going to be in this like another country for like 2 days. So you can just go out. In a few places they gave the like the E5s and above overnight libo, but
Oh, really?
Your boy was 2 stripes up, cross rifles in the center. So
I barely missed out.
Just barely missed it.
That would have been sick, man. Fuck.
Yeah, and I mean,
hated that. That's only the Marine Corps that did that too. Like the Navy was always able to get overnight libo too, right?
Oh yeah, and no
matter what rank.
Oh, I can't even. Maybe I remember they had a lot less restrictions than we did, but like, it inspired me though. I still want to travel. So you were telling me though, you actually had time to like branch off and go from country to country. Was that it? Was that the deal?
Yeah. So once I got
so when you got that opportunity, wait, was this in your first enlistment?
No, this was while I was in Japan. So
by your second enlistment. Okay, so what's going through your head now? Like you know you're finally about to deploy, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah,
Or you're
I
just
mean,
living in Japan about to
well,
go.
at this point, I'm living in Japan, but I'm having to figure out
Oh,
because
so you're traveling.
I'm the armory chief for the unit.
So are you taking leave from just like base and then going out? Is that what you're doing? Or are you like doing this traveling while on deployment?
No, this traveling is leaving from base.
Yeah, so you're like leaving home. You're putting in leave. Like,
Yeah, basically.
dope. That's the way to do it right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Exactly. It is definitely the way to do it.
Yeah. So where'd you
have no
go?
affiliation to the government or to the Marine Corps.
Well, I'm trying to do that
Well,
now, but I just need to get a passport. Sorry,
Yeah.
Mom. I know I've been trying to.
You don't have a passport yet?
No, I have to renew it, and I just haven't done it.
gotta
And
get
my
that.
mom's probably watching this, like, look at you, unbelievable. She keeps telling me to go down to Mexico, and I'm trying, but I just need to get my passport. I have the paperwork. I just need to
Just
submit
get
it.
it done.
I know, dude. I know.
Gotta close that loop.
I know, seriously. But anyways, so now what? You're seeing the window of opportunity to travel.
Yeah.
You're how old now? What? 24? No. You're 4 years in, right? 25?
Yeah, 25 probably. No, 26 maybe.
26 in
25.
Japan.
Yeah.
First home in a different country.
Yeah. I think dude, honestly, I may have been 27. Yeah, no, I was 26. Either way.
Either way, yeah.
I end up getting really close with one of the dudes. He was he's 0481. What is that? The Red Patcher. What are them called?
Yeah, I know those guys. The LS landing support.
Yeah, landing support.
Yeah, those guys are pretty tight, man. I've met a few of them. Got to work pretty closely with them when they were like hooking up our guns and whatnot. They're good people. They always say that they got that, that one sickness.
Oh yeah,
because that's why they got the red patches. Just don't worry about it. But yeah, anyways, go on. Yeah.
So yeah, man. So basically, we got really close actually because on our first deployment on ship, you're all in the same berthing.
Of course.
I mean, we were all sergeants at this point, so for the majority, we're all second enlisters.
Nice.
So
yeah.
We've all made a decision. Most of them have made the decision for whatever reason, but Mike is his name. Catanazzo was his last name. This dude was just a fucking yoked ass dude from Boston. And we started working out together and shit and found out this dude has been out on the island for like fucking 5 or 6 years at this point. I was like, what the fuck? He's
like stuck there, or just like
No.
he likes it there too, or
yeah,
what?
he didn't want to leave.
Wow.
Like, he just stayed there.
Wow.
So, dude, this guy's literally been there and he's traveled all over, and he's like, dude, we were like planning these trips. He's like, when we get back, we're taking this trip. And I was like, all right, I'm fucking down. So it's a 21-day trip.
Yikes.
It's multi-destination. So we start off.
I'm surprised you had enough leave for that.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I never had more than like 10 days a piece, like at a time.
I was always close to the max.
That's
honestly.
dope.
I always kept like.
That's awesome.
A lot of leave. I was kind of wanting to do that too. Wanting to stack up some leave.
Good.
So I ended up going on that 21-day fucking journey, and dude, the shit was sick. It was the most eye-opening experience, honestly. That one of the most.
Yeah.
Not all the most, but one of the most, where just experience culture, the smells, the sounds. You're in
it's different, man.
Different place in the world.
You're seeing different things, and it's not even like people are like, well, I mean, they're just buildings, like we have buildings over here, but I'm like, it's different though. The structures are different, the colors are different, the materials are different. It feels different, it sounds different, like everything about it is different. I mean, like, and it's almost interesting to feel like out of place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel the uncomfortable, like you're uncomfortable at first. You're like, man, everyone is speaking a different language than I'm speaking. Nobody really understands me. There's a few people who like are fluent or bilingual to help you out, but other than that, you're kind of like this outsider, and it forces you to adapt. It changes you, and it forces you to talk to people, which is fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I mean, so where'd it take you? Where'd you start and where'd you finish?
Our first destination was Malaysia. We went to Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I've never even heard of that till right now.
You've probably seen the buildings. They're like two buildings that are stacked like right next to each other. They're super high, and there's like a connector piece.
I think I know what you're talking about. I'm sure someone's
It's in Malaysia. It's in
yeah, someone's
Malaysia. So
probably put a
Kuala Lumpur is in
motivational quote of
Malaysia.
it on Instagram
Yeah, maybe you
somewhere.
probably seen it.
Yeah,
But
probably.
either way, that's the place that we went. And at this point, we're going. This was June 2018. We're there during the World Cup. It's the World Cup.
Dude, that is awesome. So, like, are you in the bars or are you in the stadiums? Like,
Oh,
where?
dude, we get dropped off when we get land there. Our taxi drives us straight to our Airbnb. We drop our stuff down. We go straight downstairs, right to the first bar. It was a Irish bar. It was badass, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It was so sick, man.
Dude, those pubs, those Irish pubs.
The Irish pubs, bro.
Bro, I went to one. I don't mean to cut you off. I
No,
just
go
went.
ahead.
I remember for my experience of an Irish pub, I went to one in New York City, and I went there, sat down. He said, "All right, you want light or dark?" And I was like, "Well, what are your light options?" And he was like, "We don't what light or dark?" And I was like, "Well, I'll just have a dark." And he was like, "All right," and he just walked away. And they only sold them by the threes. So what they were doing, they were brewing a light beer in the back and they were brewing a dark beer in the back, and that's all they were doing. Fantastic. Never tasted anything like it. And I'm not really into beer. And I mean, like, dude, it was awesome. The environment was great. People were happy. People were laughing. People were screaming. Like, I mean, an Irish pub, man, you can't beat that type of environment. So, but you're in like a real, I mean, I'm in New York City, dude. Everyone's like, that's a melting pot. You're in like the real culture. So you're like in the depth of it. Like,
I wouldn't say it was like
maybe not Irish,
I mean,
but
it honestly gave off the vibe like a very traditional Irish pub. But I mean, I'm in Malaysia though, man. It's like
yeah, but I mean, you're also in a more, you're in a more
working it.
cultured area than New York City. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah, man. Because it was in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, man.
it sounds fantastic,
and
man.
people were out all night watching the games because the games were on for the night in Malaysia. Like, it was a perfect time to just be out at the bars, watch the game. I mean, we went to a couple different spots, and dude, honestly, it was insane how many people from all over the world like showed up. Like, there was a Mexican there. There was a Mexican wearing the Mexican jersey.
Oh yeah,
he was crying whenever they beat Germany.
Oh, when they beat them? Okay,
Yeah,
I thought like when they lost, I was like, oh, that poor guy.
No, it was when they won. It was crazy.
That's awesome, dude. I can't imagine what it was like to hear someone score. Like, you know, to be in that bar when someone scored that goal. So what? So you go from Malaysia to where after that?
After that, we went to Singapore. Singapore was really the main attraction because we wanted to go for a UFC fight. It was Donald Cerrone. Right.
So did you get a briefing on where you were going before this? Like,
I mean,
you guys
this
planned
all
it out?
kind of formulated as we just kind of like had time sitting on the ship, you know?
Yeah.
So we were like, dude, Donald Cerrone's fighting in Singapore this date. I can't remember the exact date, honestly. I have a T-shirt though. It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
He fought. What's his name? It's Lewis.
Dude, your phone is going nuts right now. Are you good?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay.
Is it just continuing to go?
Yeah, it's been like four. Yeah, it's been like 4 times.
Should we cut
it? Yeah. I mean, you check on your own stuff. I'm just trying to make sure you're good. All right, so you're going for a UFC fight, and you see who?
Donald Cerrone, and I can't remember the guy's name. He's actually a top fighter. Why can't I think of his name? Something Lewis.
Something Lewis. I know who you're talking about. I don't keep up with that much fighting, but I know who you're talking about.
Either way, we were going for Donald Cerrone. That was who I wanted to win because he's the beast.
Yeah.
And that's guy either way, we were there. We did some crazy shit. We went over to the 7-Eleven and bought some nasty. It was I think whiskey actually. It was in like a plastic bottle, like probably like a pint size. Yeah. Disgusting. I shoved 2 of them down my pants and walked straight through the UFC lines. Grabbed us a couple Cokes.
Oh, so you're live at the fight?
Yeah, at the fight.
Oh, you're at okay.
And then we're just pouring up. I mean, but let me even backtrack because I forgot. We hammered down each I have video evidence of this. A whole bottle of wine each. We just fucking gulped it down.
For what?
To get hammered before going to the UFC fight.
Why not like a shot or two? Why the whole bottle of wine?
Because Singapore is very strict in the way that they... And, to be honest, it was very expensive. So we were being very cheap in our travel. So we were looking to get fucked up, but not spend a lot of money because.
And wine was probably what, cheap or what? I feel like wine's more common in like other countries, so it's like it's probably cheaper, you know.
It was actually.
Yeah, I remember going to a few countries. Wine was more of like the thing they offered it at every restaurant, you know, and it didn't matter whenever you sat down there. Like, do you want a wine? And you're like, oh, so I guess this is like a normal thing to kind of just partake in, you know.
Dude, wine gets you a different type of buzz.
Gets you a little loosey goosey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's hope this doesn't.
This 19 crimes, 19 crimes, 19.
Just keeps going down lower. By the end of this podcast, it's gonna be like 12 crimes, right?
I mean, I'm sure with the amount of times we're talking about it, they should be giving you some kind of sponsorship.
Yeah, give me some sort of cut, at least. I mean, it's fantastic. It's brisk. It's got a
I like
it. I don't know. It's got some sort of. It's got a good scent to it. You know.
I like it.
Yeah, but obviously, I do not endorse.
I'm not a wine connoisseur, though.
Yeah, I'm not a wine connoisseur. I don't endorse drinking. I don't endorse. Please only drink if you're of the legal age and drink responsibly.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. Anyways.
So yeah, but
so you're bouncing from country to country,
and we get.
So I guess
so
what
to
I'm
finish
looking
up the,
for, yeah.
So to finish up the story about the fight. So basically, we get through the whole fight. I mean, we're hammered drunk. We're just having a great time. I'm screaming.
Yeah.
This is even.
I mean, dude, it's a fight. You're watching.
But I'm telling you, let me get you a perspective here.
Right. Let me hear it.
This is before you even. Like the main fight starting, like you have the
so you're watching like what are they called, the prelims or whatever, and
I'm hammered, rip it, fuck it,
dude, you're watching war, dude, you're watching two guys intense. Just fight,
everyone, and they're like, people are just like, because it's not super packed yet,
and they're also like, yo, why is this American just like losing his freaking mind right here?
And dude, at this point, me and my homie, we were pretty jacked, honestly. We were into one of our peak. I mean, for myself, I was in pretty good shape because, the Marine Corps kind of tested me like that. It required me, and I enjoyed it. But we got done with that fight, and we were like, dude, we got to go try to see if we can find Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone ended up losing that fight. That's why I don't even want to talk about it.
We don't have to talk about it.
It was tough. But we were like, dude, we got to go see if we can figure out a way to go meet him.
Right, of course.
We get out of the stadium. We go around. We're like, oh, dude, that's where the entrance is right there. That's where the buses are going. I was like, I bet you that's where they're going to be coming out. The fighters are coming out right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Me and Mike were like, all right, let's go.
Strategic, yeah.
So we go over there. Dude, huge fucking security guards just step right in front of us. Like, what are you guys doing? We're like, we were trying to see if we could meet some of the MMA fighters. She's like, no, you can't get back here, man. And it's funny because I'm like drunk. We're both drunk, and I'm like negotiating.
This
with
guy's
him
probably twice your size.
Just huge. And then my fucking friend, I see this guy pushing a cart. It's like a fucking cartoon character, I swear to you. Like, the guy is so busy with me that Mike has enough time to get a cart, and he's just like, I was like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like cracking up.
Is he like pretending to be like a part of the staff?
Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked. He got right by him. And then, so once he gets done with that, he's like, they get all fucking mad, and we're like, dude, like, hell, we could go to jail here, man. It's pretty, like, because they don't even allow you to chew gum in public. I don't think.
Wait, where?
In Singapore, dude.
Are you serious?
It's illegal, yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing. What's the point of that?
Oh, dude, I think there's some pretty crazy rules or laws there.
Is that, I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be like, isn't that the place where they like chop off hands if like you steal?
Singapore, dude.
Or is it like
Singapore?
There's a few countries that still do that. Like
Singapore
if you steal,
don't play, man.
Yeah, if you steal, they cut your hand off.
I'm not sure because if that's the case, then that Marine who got caught stealing, You're
Yeah,
gonna have a
probably
lot
would
of
have been
hands.
missing
He's
some
gonna have
fingers.
he's gonna
Yeah.
have his feet cut off too.
Yeah, dude, they do some bad stuff. I've seen them. Oh, no, thank you. I could not imagine too. Like, dude, I've seen enough Vice documentaries. I could not end up in a foreign prison,
Yeah, man, it's
bro. There's no
not a
rules.
good look.
There's
We
there's
almost went to jail in Thailand. I mean,
no, dude,
during
those
this.
I'm pretty sure I watched a Vice documentary. It's either a Mexican gang or a gang in Thailand. They like run the prison now. Like
Oh
the guards
yeah,
aren't even in charge. The prisoners are in charge of prison. How terrifying is that? But they just stay in prison,
running it.
and it's just violent.
That's crazy.
And a lot of times, I mean, we have a coworker of ours who did some mission work in Russia, and he was even up in spots in where was it, Siberia, where it gets incredibly cold.
Yeah.
And in those prisons, what he was telling us when because he was there just speaking with prisoners, preaching and doing whatever. He was telling us that those places are just big concrete brick walls with bars on them, and those people, there's no commissary, there's no place to order materials and stuff from. So if you get into a cell and there's no pillow and blanket, unless one of your family members brings you a pillow and blanket, you ain't gonna get a pillow and blanket. You will just sleep right where you are, right there with what's left in the room, and that's that. They don't have the funds, they don't have the time, they don't have the care to deal with it. And a lot of those prisons, man, they don't even have like windows, like out there up in like the real depths of like the forests and whatnot in these foreign countries. They're just open, and either you're in a place where it's incredibly freaking hot and humid 24/7, and you're just stuck in this like concrete block, or you're like in the coldest parts of the world, almost being like forgotten about. And I mean, I could not imagine being stuck in one of those, especially being stuck in prison if you don't know the language.
Oh, dude, that would
Like, how do you even know what gang to join at that point?
You'd be toast. I feel like I wouldn't want to experience that.
I would have to go mute. I wouldn't even talk to anybody. Truthfully, I wouldn't.
I'm glad I never had to experience that, but it was some close calls for me as well. When we were gone from Singapore, because we actually took a detour. We did an unexpected, because Singapore was really expensive, and we lost a lot of money in the casinos. Not gonna lie, man.
Right.
I was going a little ham.
I mean,
going ham on the roulette.
But you weren't really even. Well, were you really spending money by then?
Oh, dude,
yeah?
I threw down 700 on a third.
Yikes!
Like I felt like the adrenaline that was running through me at that time.
You felt it.
Yeah, I hit, and I was in. But it's such ups and downs, man.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
It was fun though. Don't get me wrong, but we were like, dude, let's go somewhere we're gonna live like kings. Mm-hmm. He's like, looks into flight. Let's get a flight to Cambodia.
So I'm pretty sure I saw that in like a Rambo movie.
Yeah, it's a crazy dude. That's a crazy country. They actually asked me if we wanted to blow up an elephant with the RPG. They had fucking flyers, man. It was like, yo, I'm not bullshitting.
What kind of offer is that? What kind of business offer is that?
Dude, I got
my like, hey, welcome to our country. That's Bill over there. He's got an RPG, so we're offering a one-time $20 special to blow up this elephant with his RPG. They live different
out there, man. They don't care
that's wild.
About those elephants.
That's insane.
Bro, I had my shoe sewn off the street. Like, a guy came up and was like bargaining with me to try to get I had a little hole in my shoe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did it for $1. Sewed it up.
Just for $1?
Yeah.
That was it. Dude, I mean, I've seen the culture is different over there. I remember one time we were in Israel, and we had a canine handler walking around, and people would bargain. They set up shop on the street and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're just regular marketplace, just like us, just like we do. They're trying to make a buck out there. And this dude's walking the canine, and he's like, how much for the dog? He's like, sir, this isn't for sale. He's like, all right, seriously, how much? I'll give you this much. He's like, it's not for sale. And he's like, okay, how about this? He's like, shows him some products. He's like, I have these. You give me the dog. I gave you several of these. It's a fair trade. And I was just like, dude.
Wow, he's really trying to bargain.
Yeah, dude. Like, I was like, you're about to get a straight up trained military canine for what? A couple blankets, bro? Get out of here.
Yeah, yeah. That's not a good.
Yeah, they
that's not a
hustle.
good trade. You ain't got nothing over there that's
No,
worth it.
dude, they hustle different over there. It's
That's funny,
crazy,
though.
man. It truthfully is. It is wild though. But so I mean, so Cambodia. I mean,
It was a good.
you had a few eye opening experiences. I mean, I'm assuming through all these, places you go to and whatnot, you're experiencing some sort of, you're having epiphanies along the way. I
Oh
would
my
assume.
gosh,
Yeah.
it was so amazing, man. Just like because everything was so new, brand new, never experienced before.
Right.
Like,
Were you out of the states before you went to Japan? Like, were you ever frequenting like out of states or anything?
Yeah,
like
like
that?
we traveled a bit with our mom, like on road trips.
Like road trips. I mean, like out of the USA, anything like that?
Oh no, never.
Oh, so that was like your first time?
Yeah, going to Japan was my first time flying
Fantastic.
overseas.
Oh,
But,
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, yeah, the experiences in Cambodia, man, like just to like be in those tuk-tuks, like there's some
A tuk
picture-
tuk?
Yeah, tuk-tuk.
What's a tuk tuk? Please,
A tuk-tuk
please
is
explain.
just it's just like a moped or something, and they put like a basket to carry people in. It's like it's their
okay.
form
It's like
of
a
transport.
trailer. Like they're like.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah, they're like
it's like
towing
a
you around.
motorcycle with like a little back like a
Yeah,
back
yeah,
trailer
yeah.
on it.
That's dope.
And I mean, it's their taxi system. It's kind of how you get around. They drive crazy out there. They drive in those areas, man. They drive insane. So once we left Cambodia, Thailand was our last trip. So we went to Bangkok. Bangkok is where we landed. We got into Bangkok, man. Bangkok was insane. We went to Hooters in Bangkok. And literally, when I tell you, man, I was like, the neon lights and everything, like, I feel like Walking Street is what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
It's called that's the Devil's Playground right there, man.
For real?
Yeah.
Like known as that, or is that what you just kind of?
Like, dude, there's so much.
Yeah, it was kind of like one of those areas. I mean, I've been, in certain places. I mean, like, dude, I've kind of prowled around the streets of California on like really late nights. Was it like one of those areas where you kind of step into it, and when you look at people, you kind of get that like feeling in your stomach?
Yeah,
They don't want
yeah.
they don't want your best intentions.
I mean,
like,
I
they
was
don't have your best
fucking
intentions in mind.
hammered though.
Yeah.
So it was like in a different mentality, bro. It was so
Right.
cool, like was
You were just looking for thrills. Yeah.
and I mean, dude, it was just crazy to just experience. And now I wouldn't say that was all of it, because we went to a bar and where it's like they play games with you.
Yeah, and I mean, you probably. I'm
drinking
not.
game
Yeah, I'm
that you
assuming
play
you went
with
out
them.
and actually experienced the culture.
Yeah,
Rather
I got a
than just-
tattoo there, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that.
I got
yeah.
this inner bicep tattooed. But it was actually we only spent one night in Bangkok. The rest of our time was spent in a town called Pattaya.
Pakia.
Pattaya. I think I'm
Pattaya?
probably saying
Okay.
it wrong. It's like
Yeah.
Pattaya.
Okay, for sure. Yeah. So then what?
And-
When do you come back to the States after all this? I mean,
well,
after all this traveling, you still go back home, no? Back to Okinawa?
I go back to Japan. Yeah,
Right,
Go
yeah.
back to Japan. So my trip in Pattaya though was crazy, because we ended up renting mopeds.
Mm-hmm.
Without having licenses or anything, and like we're getting hammered we're getting fucked up and driving these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And like there's times where I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna drive, but we've been drinking all day, let's just leave them. So one of the times we decided to do that, they stole a fucking moped.
Wait, somebody just jacked the moped you rented, or what?
Yeah, dude. And Mike went out there looking for it, and they're like, hey, you seen a moped here? Oh yeah, that was yours? We got it. Follow us.
Bro, no way. They
This
just
dude
jacked you and like.
This dude went on a journey into the mountains in fucking Thailand. He had to go pick this fucking thing up.
Now I'm assuming they took some cash from him.
Yeah, they took cash from him. He got it back though. Came back.
Bro, hell
Met
no,
back up
dude.
with us.
No way,
Bro,
man.
we were living authentic.
Yeah,
like,
that's some.
We got pulled over.
That's deep, bro. You're deep in the cut at that
Oh,
point,
yeah.
man. There's like at that point you're showing your face. People know you at that point because they're like, oh yeah, you guys are Americans, right? Like that guy speaks to you in English or what?
I don't. He didn't talk to me. He had talked to Mike about it, but
Did Mike speak anything else than English or what?
no, he didn't. Yeah,
Yeah, so if they're chatting, then they're probably
that's all they speak there, though. I don't know if they. I mean,
Really?
they have their. I don't know what their native language is, but I mean, there's a lot of English speaking. I don't. It wasn't too.
Oh,
hard
that's
to,
awesome though.
wasn't
That's
too
really
hard
cool.
to
I didn't know that.
communicate.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I ran into a lot of people. Israel had a lot of people who spoke English.
Dude, English
and-
is a universal language, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, you would think.
It really is. So
Yeah.
I mean,
so-
and yeah, they definitely knew we were Americans. We got pulled over by police officers on
Oh, it's so
multiple
easy.
occasions.
We stick out like sore thumbs.
And
man.
they just wanted to grease the wheel. Like they were
Yeah.
just trying to squeeze money out of us.
Yeah, of course.
The biggest scare was when we had gotten stopped on a DUI checkpoint,
Hmm.
and Mike was driving, and it was like, man, we're fucked, because we were just heading back to the hotel,
Right.
and
And you admit that was a bad decision.
oh, dude, hell yeah,
Yeah, of course.
and dude. We just basically, I was like, dude, what's it gonna cost? That's what I'm telling them.
Yeah.
They put us in this
Because that's like, I mean,
I knew what it was.
Yeah,
I was like,
because
look,
that's what it was. You had already become accustomed to
Yeah,
like they're
I was like,
doing that. Like
yeah.
this is very real out here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. I was like, this how much I can pull out of the ATM. How much can you pull out, Mike? We pulled out that. Went and got it. They fucking let us go. They let me drive it when I was more fucking hammered than fucking Mike.
Dude, yeah, they're really just
But it was the end of the trip, and we got back, and dude, I was so ready to just be done traveling, to be honest. Like, be back in my home. It was a good trip, though. But 21 days on the road like that can kind of wear on you a little. We were going fucking hard, too. We were drinking pretty much every day.
every day, yeah, but I mean you're living it up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember just hitting those ports and I mean, we'd be sober for months at a time and then we'd get those few days to just really get after it. So I mean, it's constant. So, you finish up in Japan. Because all good things come to an end. You've already done 8. So in someone with that, in that position, it's almost a little odd. I mean, I see a few people get out after 8. But I mean, what do they say? It's like after 8, you're great. You might as well stay. So, I mean, what's pulling on you to get out and end after, 8 years? What is it?
I think for me, it was like, I kind of honestly had this gut feeling I saw something coming with the way that, like, things were being, like a little more, like, political, I guess, in a way.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't about the main traditional core values. It started turning into a more dog and pony show, right?
I saw too much, it's kind of like almost fakeness. Like genuine people existed, like, for sure.
Yeah.
That cared and wanted to see, people succeed or, build. I mean, what's the point of having a unit? I mean, you want to have a good cohesive unit,
Mm-hmm.
but it starts from the top. It
Right.
always starts from the
It
top.
always does.
And I think if we're at the level where we're trying to control things that we can control, sometimes it just feels like a losing battle when you're just like, all right, you can establish things and get things under control in your area,
Right.
but you can't control the outside. And I feel like there's so many other areas that didn't have that same type of drive that I was able to put into my craft.
Right,
into what
yeah.
I did.
You kind of felt the disconnect, like,
Yeah, I was like, what I'm doing it for the Marines, but then I'm like, I'm going to lose the ability to do it for them anyways, because
Yeah.
eventually you go right into a more centralized location, like as a, maybe a company gunny or,
right, yeah.
whatever the Marine Corps decides to want to pluck you out of.
Very true.
Like,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess I always would have stayed in the Army. I knew as my job, I wasn't going to be able to, I just always inspecting, like constant inspections. Like it was this like never ending battle. Like you were always going to lose, I feel like, too.
Yeah.
And then like, I felt like I wasn't able to find the same passion in it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, man, I know I'm good at what I do. Like I have the ability to, run the shop efficiently,
Yeah.
instill good discipline in the Marines, make sure that they can become successful as well. I think that's what I miss the most, because you don't have that ability nowadays. Like in today's society, as this, it's not as prevalent, I guess. Not in,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can, I guess, but it's starting over though. You know, like I had seniority, I understood. Like,
Oh, you're talking about like actually like getting out and like feeling that like when you step out and you kind of go from you were
yeah,
top of the
like go
top to bottom of the bottom now.
right, because you're moving industry. Like you're, I mean, the military has a certain way you want to live, and that doesn't necessarily transfer so to the society where you're like, I guess that's like immediately you don't think of it as like where you're going to be directly put in a managerial position, I guess,
Yes,
also.
yes, for sure. Yeah. That's no, that's very true. I mean, I've definitely felt the effects of you know, being up on like putting being put up on a pedestal and then, coming straight out like the next month and being like the bottom of the bottom. So, it's pretty tough to deal with. And I mean, I did it twice to myself because I left the military, came out, went to a job, worked that job really well that I did kind of enjoy. And then, well, I guess I could say three times because then I quit that job. Then I went into school. And then I was just like, nah, fam. But then obviously we got involved. Well, I got involved in construction and, things worked out from there. So I guess, yeah, that's also another thing I don't think we mentioned. We worked together. So that's kind of how we met each other. Yeah, we're both working in construction. So, but yeah, man, I mean, it's a totally different feel. Um, and like you were saying, you're putting in a lot. You want to see that from other people, and I feel like that's what I enjoy about the construction business. I mean, there's certain companies who don't put out, but together as a team, like within the group that we're within, especially in a management position, we have the common goals, so it things get accomplished and things
Right.
can be enjoyable because they're not as stressful. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And that was the thing. Is like it's not that the military was unenjoyable. It had its highlights, but there are more lowlights than highlights. So, who really cares? No one's gonna watch ESPN Top 10 if they're all just like drop catches. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody cares about that.
Right.
So yeah, that kind of pushed. But I mean, so you're feeling that at 8 years. I mean, do you feeling like you put in too much time, or are you feeling like you're?
I feel like it's the right time to make a decision on whether I'm going to choose a different industry or not, because I saw other senior guys that got out that like, man, you give a lot into the military, man. You got to have passion for it. I mean,
Big
it's,
time. Yeah, you have to.
I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to have served my country, and that is something that will never change. And it's like that's the hardest part when you get out, is like that strip of that feeling of like knowing that you were doing
You
something that
were,
was
yeah,
more
and you no
selfless.
longer are.
So
Yeah.
now you can live more selfish,
Well,
I
yeah.
guess.
Well, yeah, but that also comes from purpose too, because it takes away that purpose. It takes away when you step out, you take away that purpose, and you're like, okay, I no longer. You're like, I can be this super hard charger mode, like super motivated, whatever. But then it kind of tumbles in your mind. You're like, but why would I? There's no point. Like, it's
In a
not like
way,
I'm.
yeah.
Yeah, you're like, there's no point. It's not like I'm gonna be like recognized for it. It's not like I'm gonna be able to go out and do those types of great things again. So it feels kind of pointless.
Well, I feel like maybe it wasn't like I didn't have any true like picture of like, whoa, I want to be this in the military,
Mhm.
Because it
Yeah.
never. I don't think
Oh,
it.
so like you couldn't see yourself.
Like I think people who stay
That's
in
really,
probably have more of
yeah,
like a
of real vision.
forward thinking like vision of like what they want to be in the
Yeah,
military.
that's really interesting that you point that out. I would say for myself too. I remember within the closing months of my enlistment, I was trying to picture myself, right? Because I was a sergeant, and I was like Staff Sergeant Deanda. I was like, okay, it's got a little bit of a ring to it. And I was trying to like close my eyes and vision myself like as a staff sergeant. And I was like, what would I be doing? Where would I be going? And then I was like, okay, what about Gunny Deanna? What would he look like? And I couldn't see him. And I couldn't see Gunny Deanda. And I was like, I don't know who that guy is. I can't even create him with my own imagination. And I was like, I don't know what that guy would be doing, but from what Sergeant Deanna thinks, that guy would be miserable. So like that, it's just not gonna be it. And there's also a few other contributing factors, which led to my
Exit.
exit of
Yeah.
the military. But I mean, still, all within reason, nothing bad or anything. But uh,
But yeah, I think essentially, man, I think it was honestly like just the culminate, like all of it put together. I didn't feel honestly kind of how you said, like I didn't picture myself being that person in the military, like Staff Sergeant Steele, Staff Sergeant, or Gunny
right,
Steele.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I mean, I feel like it could have been that, but I think it was like I was let down too many times by people who I felt like could have been better.
Yeah, you
But
set
I
high
had, but I
expectations
had,
because you set. I mean, you're being told from the get that these are the high standards, so you're expecting that.
yeah. And when you see too much of like mediocrity around others, like
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily, and like because I had great leaders, to be honest. Like not all of them were great leaders, but like dude, I had a really good leader who
Yeah,
fucking you know he did a
well,
lot
we've
of
all had
like a
them.
lot of
Yeah,
great growth
yeah.
happened from that. So but honestly, man, the military in general was a great experience. It did give me that feeling of like doing something for the greater cause, right?
Right, yeah, for the
Or
bigger picture.
the bigger
Yeah.
picture.
So you're freshly out now. How long has it been since you've gotten out of the
It's
military?
November 2020.
So you're approaching. So it's been a year now,
Yeah.
correct? So how's that? So how do you think so far that year has been treating you? I mean,
Whew.
now being in the position
Yeah,
that
it's
you're in,
crazy.
where working in construction in a management position, I mean, do you think? I mean, obviously, a lot of things have changed. A lot of your habits have ceased since you've, gotten out of the military and whatnot. Obviously, you're not doing the same stupid stuff you were when you were like, a kid. I
Right.
mean, same here. We've all kind of been stripped of that. Kind of makes you function a little bit better. So,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
and you know what's crazy about that is like, man, it's kind of because the military can cultivate like a little bit more of that, like you're saying, like why can you get away with that for so long in the military? Like
hmm
how long would a guy live in the barracks? But when you give them very little like room to grow, when you're telling them, someone's gonna sit down at the bottom of your barracks and like make sure that you guys are doing what you're supposed to.
yeah,
Like don't treat them like adults.
hmm
Then like they ask like why are guys getting in trouble, guys or girls getting in trouble? It's like, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be inevitable, but I feel like you don't give them. I mean, dude, the only way you can get a house is if you get fucking married. In the
yeah.
Marine Corps.
Seriously.
Like that's kind of fucked up too. Like you got to be able to give them some fucking room to grow,
Well, you
right?
could buy your own house, but it's going to cost your own money. So it's
Yeah,
like,
but then give me my money for not living in the barracks, and I'll go fucking find something.
I mean, I guess.
If the money's all the same, no, because
Yeah, but I mean,
there's a reason for it, man. Like
yeah.
they let's not go down that
Yeah,
road.
we don't even have to. So I guess to close it up, I mean, I mean, we pretty much talked about your journey thus far. So I mean, I know I do have a lot of active
I think it died.
listeners. It's fine.
It's good.
Okay, so it looks like our camera died. Sorry about that, but I mean, I know you're probably just gonna see a rolling black screen to wrap it all up. But I guess, David, my main question is, coming from someone who lived a fast lifestyle as a young man to where you're at now, I guess what's your one piece of advice to those people who are either considering the military or I mean, I know we have people who are young listeners, 18 through 25. I mean, what's your core piece of advice that you would push out to these people really just for,
I mean, I would say like like just stay focused on things that matter, like because it's so easy to get so much more wrapped up in things that like you feel like are important or you're just trying to cover up whatever kind of feelings, I guess. But man, I've seen so many Marines that take so full advantage of like the opportunities that the Marine Corps like gives them with like TA and all the different type of things. Like, I mean, the I think it's like the SMP program or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the USO, dude, like I mean, it is nice to see that America really does a lot for the troops, you know.
Right.
Like,
Most
so
definitely.
at the end of the day, man, like I think the military is a great experience. It's a good stepping stone if you want to look at it like that for growth, maturity.
Right. And
You
we don't
know,
even have to like endorse the military in that. I mean, as just people, there's certain things you can take aspects of it like discipline or, things like that. You don't even have to jump into the military if you want to do stuff like that, like learn how to discipline yourself, learn how to say no, learn when to, if you feel like you're complaining about certain things in your life, I mean, address those things immediately and correct it,
yeah.
But that's honestly really good advice, man. I appreciate that. I mean, honestly, thank you for coming back. I mean, well, actually, no, not coming back. It's your first time on the show.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll be
first time.
telling you. I'm sure I'll be telling you thank you for coming back. Soon. I don't think you'll be, far from this show. You'll be on here frequently. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
So
we'll have to get
probably.
into some crazy
Yeah, I
conversations.
mean, right now this is definitely kind of a more serious, I guess, episode, a more in depth. I'm kind of just warming myself back up to you guys. I apologize once again for being gone for so long, but yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, it is Halloween.
yes, it is Halloween, so I hope you guys are safe. Hope you guys get spooky. Hope you guys get a lot of candy. David, do you have any handles to give out to these people for socials that they can meet you at or
Uh,
get in contact with you on, anything like
I'm
that?
not really on social media like that,
All right,
so
that's perfectly fine. Hey, so you guys can find the podcast at Side Conversations Podcast on Twitter and on Instagram. That's just Side Conversations Podcast. You can email the podcast, sideconversationspodcast@gmail.com. We're going to be uploading weekly from now on, you guys, so stay tuned for that. We'll be doing, a lot more things. We'll be getting into some YouTube videos. I'm going to be releasing some music. We're going to be getting into it, but last but not least, like we always do at the end of every single podcast, I'd like to give out the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline numbers. That's 1-800-273-8255. Once again, it's 1-800-273-8255. And also for veterans, if you dial that number, you can press 1 for the Veterans Crisis Line. Guys, girls, I've been doing it for every single episode. I just want to keep that up. This is a line you can always use. You can call in, press 1 if you're a veteran, if you need to get in contact with someone who kind of is on the same page with you, understands what's going on. You'll feel those things. Everyone has those troubles and thoughts, but it's not a bad thing to just reach out to somebody. I myself have even used these lines, so I think they're fantastic. And, reach out to the show, reach out to us on the socials or on social media or by email. And if you just want to chat or have questions, just hit us up. We'd be more than happy to conversate with you guys. Make sure you guys leave a like on this video. Also, if you're reviewing the podcast on Apple Podcasts, make sure to give it a 5 out of 5 rating or give us your honest rating and feedback. I think it would be awesome, So shout us out. Do whatever. We'll see you guys around, and we're back, man. Thanks, David.
yeah. Yeah, dude.